So as of sometime yesterday, Moistcritikal and Sneako sat down to have a debate, which I think it ran for over 3 hours and some change. But part of the debate that got clipped the most was the part where Sneako and Moist was pretty much talking about, like, is 16 too young for a teenager to be dating an older guy in his mid to late 20s, or someone who's 16 that's thinking about or wanting to transition from either a man to a woman or a woman to a man. The context of the conversation just revolves around like 16, 18. And yes, in my mind, if somebody is 16 or 18, that is still a child. Fuck the law. But all this does stem from Sneako coming at Moistcritikal and others for not speaking out about this like relatively soon or on his time, which Moist did end up responding to Sneako around the 14-minute mark in his 20-something minute video he did about the whole Ava Chris Tyson situation, which led to here.
Believe that somebody can go through hormone therapy. Can they change their gender if they're a child?
I think that's totally fine as long as everyone is consenting, as you agree with.
Okay, so as long as everyone...
If your parents are okay with it and you are okay with it, I think that's totally a familial decision to make. Yeah.
Okay, so a child can cut their penis off and take hormone blockers and change their biology forever, but they can't get married?
Well, that's a decision that now extends beyond the family, because now you're bringing in a different party. So if you have someone that's your age coming in saying, I want to marry that child, I don't think that can happen under any circumstance.
So,
no.
But it's still a personal decision. You're still deciding.
Because there's
take the other party out of the equation. It's a personal decision. If I'm 16 and I personally want to marry this girl, she's beautiful. She's 21 years old. Her family wants to do it. My family wants to do it. You're saying I can't do that. We're both consenting. I'm ready to go. I'm physically mature, but I'm not allowed to marry because Moist says that woman's a pedophile. But if then the next day I leave it, I'm depressed, I want to cut my penis off, I can go right into the clinic, snip it off, and start taking HRT like Chris Tyson. That's a society that makes sense to you?
It is. I believe everyone has I believe everyone has the right to do with their body what they want to do.
Now, are both options pretty rough to choose from? Yes, but for me, if it's one or the other, I'd have to side with Moist, because I'd rather have a 16-year-old daughter that wants to transition into a guy other than my 16-year-old daughter dates somebody in their mid to late 20s or 30s. That is out the question. And if Sneako really thinks a 16-year-old can be mature, boy, I have so many swamps in the state of Louisiana for sale. And guess what, Sneako? If you're the 16-year-old messing with a woman who's 21 or older, then guess what? You're going to end up cheating, especially if, like, let's say that 21-year-old is your first time. You're going to cheat on her religiously. You're not going to be mature enough to handle not only her, but the odds of other women wanting you. You're going to want more than just her, bro. You're going to go out and cheat, and then next thing you know, it's going to turn into this whole drama-filled spill that could have been easily avoided. I think the big takeaway from all this is people don't understand that in order for somebody to transition, it costs money. And most of these parents who co-sign their kids' transition got a lot of money. The reason why Dwayne Wade was able to do that with his child was because he's filthy fucking rich, even after he hasn't been in the league in years. He is rich. He can do that. If you have a lot of money, you can undergo them type of procedures. But the average person cannot afford that type of money because it costs money to go under the knife. It costs money to take pills or some type of medications that have to be prescribed to you, which guess what, are not going to be cheap. It's not like somebody can go to a local pharmacy and just pop a couple Advil and then all of a sudden they slowly transition into a man or a woman. That's not how it works. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if we get into a future by, like, let's say, I don't know, 2030 or further down the line, where it becomes like an over-the-counter drug and all of a sudden they wake up in a different body. I don't know why people are so worried about like the trans stuff when, again, it costs money. And if your kid does seriously want to take upon that type of decision, your best bet is to arm them with knowledge and support them on whatever decision they do make, and let them know a venture like that costs a lot of money. It's not cheap. that it's very irreversible if you try to transition. If you do your best as a parent to arm your kid with knowledge and they still want to do it, you at least tried your best. You did what you're supposed to do, arm them with knowledge, and they still want to make that decision, and you support that said decision. I'm not saying you have to agree with it, but just support them like any type of parent would. Same goes if you have a 16-year-old trying to date somebody who's grown. You have to arm them with information in order to protect them and prevent something like that from happening. If anybody would much rather the latter happen and co-sign your kid getting married to some 30-something-year-old dude, you don't really love your kid, because you're not protecting your kid from a PDF file. Like, look, both would be bad decisions, but if it's either one or the other, I'd rather go the trans route. So with that being said, y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.